Good morning, brothers and sisters, भाइयों बहनों, ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, listeners and learners, those who belong to the field of science, religion, arts, commerce and engineering, the most honorable President Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, respected ministers and doctors, honorable advocates, advertisers, administrators and advisors, reverend fathers and mothers, affectionate sons and daughters. I, Dr.RK from USA, heartily cordially welcome all of you. Your presence is praiseworthy, admirable and appreciable, as you are providing your most valuable time in listening the truth of science to spirituality, language to literature. Really, it is a blessing and grace of God early in the morning, who is providing the opportunity to listen the words that can set your goal high, then exceed them. The magic of thinking big. Related to it, you are listening, build confidence and destroy fear. Dear friends, our cultural identity, our climatic changes, varieties give us the direction to move ahead in the form of recreation, regeneration and reformation. Several years ago, while checking student examination papers, I came across one that especially disturbed me. The student who wrote the examination had demonstrated in class discussions and previous tests that he was far better qualified than his paper indicated. He was, in fact, the fellow who I thought would finish at the top of the class. Instead, his papers put him at the bottom. As was my custom in such cases, I had many secretary call the student and ask him to come by my office on any urgent matter. The real evaluation, examination and observation of our life is the spiritual evaluation, which give us the company of the truth, honesty, brotherhood, bravery, dutifulness. These are the companions of the true evaluator. These are also the decorative and ornaments that provide shining in the future of the scholars and students, those who are studying in India and abroad in the different universities and colleges. Paul W. appeared shortly. He looked as though he had been through a terrible experience. After he was comfortably seated, I said to him, "What happened, Paul?" "They just isn't the quality paper I expected you to write." Paul struggled with himself, looked in the direction of his feet, and replied, "Sir, after I saw that you had spotted me cheating, I just went to pieces. I couldn't concentrate on anything honest. This is the first time I have ever cheated at the university. I desperately wanted an A, so I worked up a little pony to use. He was terribly upset, but now that he was talking, he wouldn't stop. I suppose you will have to recommend me for dismissal. The university rule says any student found cheating in any manner is subject to permanent dismissal. Here, Paul started bringing up the shame this incident would bring to his family, how it would wreck his family, and all sorts of repercussions. Finally, I said, "Hold it now. Slow down. Let me explain something. I didn't see you cheat until you walked in and told me. I hadn't the faintest idea that was the trouble. I'm sorry, Paul, that you did." Then I continued, "Paul, tell me, just what do you want to gain from your university experience?" He was a little calmer now, and after a short pause, he said, "Well, doctor, I think my overall aim is to learn how to live. But I guess I am failing pretty badly." "We learn in different ways," I said. "I think you can learn a real success lesson from this experience. When you used your pony in there, your conscience bothered you terribly. This gave you a guilt complex that in turn broke your confidence. As you expressed it, you went to pieces. Most of the time, Paul, this matter of right and wrong is approached from a moral or a religious standpoint. Now understand, I'm not here to preach to you, give you a sermon about right and wrong. But let's look at the practical side. When you do anything that goes contrary to your conscience, you feel guilty, and this guilty feeling jams your thought processes. You can't think straight because your mind is asking, "Will I get caught? Will I get caught?" Paul continued, "You wanted an A so badly you did something you knew was wrong. There are many times in life when you will want to make an A so badly you will be tempted to do something that is contrary to your conscience. For example, someday you may want to make a sale so badly you will think of deliberately misleading the customer to buy, and you may succeed. But here is what will happen: your guilty feeling will grab hold of you, and the next time you see your customer, you will be self conscious, ill at ease. You will be wondering, Had he discovered that I put something over, your presentation will be ineffective because you can't concentrate. Chances are you will never make the second, third, fourth, and the many repeat sales. In the long run, making that sale using tactics that hurt your conscience will cost you a lot of income. I went on and pointed out to Paul how an occasional business or professional man loses his grip because of an intense fear that his wife will learn about a secret love affair he is having with another woman. Will she find out? Will she find out? Eats away the man's confidence until he can't do a good job at work or in the home. I reminded, I reminded Paul that many criminals are captured not because any clues point to them, but because they act guilty and self conscious. Their guilt feeling puts them on the suspect list. There is within each of us a desire to be right, think right, and act right. When we go against that desire, we put a cancer in our conscience. This cancer grows and grows by eating away at our confidence. Avoid doing anything that will cause you to ask yourself, will I get caught? Will they find out? Will I get away? Will I get away with it? Don't try to make an A if it means violating your confidence. Paul, I am pleased to say, got the point. He learned the practical value of doing what's right. I then proposed he sit down and retake the examination. In answer to his question, but what about my dismissal? I said, I know what the regulations say about cheating, but you know, if we dismissed all students who have cheated in any way, half the professors would have to leave, and if we dismissed all students who thought about cheating, the university would have to shut down. So I am forgetting this whole incident if you will do me a favor. Gladly, he said. I walked over to my bookshelf, took down my personal copy of 50 Years with the Golden Rule, and said, Paul, read this book and return it. See how in J.C. Penney's own words, just doing what's right made him one of America's richest men. Doing what's right keeps your conscience satisfied, and this builds self-confidence. When we do what is known to be wrong, two negative things happen. First, we feel guilt, and this guilt eats away confidence. Second, other people sooner or later find out and lose confidence in us. Do what's right and keep your confidence. That's thinking yourself to success. Here is a psychological principle that is worth reading over 25 times. Read it until it absolutely saturates you. Think confidently, act confidently. The great psychologist Dr. George W. Crane said in his famous book, Applied Psychology, Chicago Hopkins Syndicate, Inclusion 1950, remember, motions are the precursors of emotions. You can't control the latter directly, but only through your choice of motions or actions. Do avoid this all too common tragedy, marital difficulties and misunderstandings. Become aware of the true psychological facts. Go through the proper motions each day, and you will soon begin to feel the corresponding emotions. Just be sure You and your mate go through those motions of dates and kisses, the phrasing of sincere daily compliments, plus the many other little courtesies, and you need not worry about the emotion of love. You can't act devoted for very long without feeling devoted. Psychologists tell us we can change our attitudes by changing our physical actions. For example, you actually feel more like smiling if you make yourself smile. You feel more superior when you make yourself stand tall than when you slouch. On the negative side, frown a really bitter frown and see if you don't feel more like frowning. It is easy to prove the managed motions can change emotions. People who are shy in introducing themselves can replace this timidity with confidence just by taking three simple actions simultaneously. First, reach for the other person's hand and clasp it warmly. Second, look directly at the other person. And third, say, I am very glad to know you. These three simple actions automatically and instantaneously banish shyness. Confident action produces confident thinking. So, to think confidently, act the way you want to feel. Below are 5 confidence building exercises. Read these guides carefully, then make a effort, conscious effort to practice them and build your confidence. One is be a front seater. Ever notice in meetings, in church, classrooms, and other kinds of assemblies how the back seats fill up first? Most folks scramble to sit in the back rows so they won't be too conspicuous. And the reason they are afraid to be conspicuous is that they lack confidence. Sitting up front builds confidence. Practice it from now on. Make it a rule to sit as close to the front as you can. Sure, you may be a little more conspicuous in the front, but remember, there is nothing inconspicuous about success. 2 is practice making eye contact. How a person uses his eyes tells us a lot about him. Instinctively, you ask yourself questions about the fellow who doesn't look you in the eye. What's he trying to hide? What's he afraid of? Is he trying to put something over on me? Is he holding something back? Usually, failure to make eye contact says one of two things. It may say, I feel weak beside you. I feel inferior to you. I am afraid of you. Or avoiding another person's eyes may say, I feel guilty. I have done something or I have thought something that I don't want you to know. I am afraid if I let my eyes connect with your, you will see through me. You say nothing good about yourself when you avoid making eye contact. You say, I am afraid, I lack confidence. Conquer this fear by making yourself look the other person in the eyes. Looking the other person in the eye tells him, I am honest and above board. I believe in what I am telling you. I am not afraid, I am confident. Make your eyes work for you. Aim them right at the other person's eyes. If not only gives you confidence, it wins you confidence too. 3 is walk 25% faster. When I was a youngster, just going to the country seat was a big treat. After all the errands were accomplished and we were back in the car, My mother would often say, Davy, let's just sit here a while and watch the people walk by. Mother was an excellent game player. She would say, See, that fellow, what do you suppose is troubling him? Or what do you think that lady there is going to do? Or look at the person, he just seems to be in a fog. Watching people walk and move about became real fun. It was a lot cheaper than the motive, which was one of the reasons I learned later the mother developed the game and it was a lot more instructive. I still am a walk watcher to corridors, lobbies, on sidewalks. I still occasionally find myself studying human behavior simple by watching people move about. Psychologists link slovenly postures and sluggish walking to unpleasant attitudes towards oneself, work, and the people around us. But psychologists also tell us you can actually change your attitudes by changing your posture and speed of movement. Watch, and you discover that body action is the result of mind action. The extremely bitten reason, the extremely bitten person, the real down and outers just shuffle and stumble along. They have zero self confidence. Average people have the average walk. Their pace is average. They have the look of, I really don't have very much pride in myself. Then there is third group. Persons in this group show super confidence. They walk faster than the average. There seems to be a slight sprint in the way they walk. Their walk tells the world, I have got someplace important to go, something important to do. What's more, I will succeed at what I will do 15 minutes from now. Use the walk 25% faster technique to help build self-confidence. Through your shoulders back, lift up your head, move ahead just a little faster and feel self-confidence grow. Just try and see. Number 4, practice speaking up in working with many kinds of groups of self-size, in all sizes. I have watched many persons with keen perception and much native ability freeze and fail to participate in discussions. It isn't that these folks don't want to get in and wade with the rest. Rather, it's simple lack of confidence. The confidence claim thinks to himself, my opinion is probably worthless. If I say something, I'll probably look foolish. I'll just say nothing. Besides, the others in the group probably know more than I. I don't want the others to know how ignorant I am. Each time the conference clam fails to speak, he feels even more inadequate, more inferior. Often he makes a faint promise to himself to speak next time. This is very important. Each time our claim fails to speak, he takes one more dose of confidence poison. He becomes less and less confident of himself. But on the positive side, the more you speak up, the more you add to your confidence, and the easier it is to speak up the next time. Speak up, it's a confidence building vitamin. Put this confidence builder to use. Make it a rule to speak up at every open meeting you attend. Speak up. Speak up. Say something voluntarily at every business conference, committee meeting, community forum you attend. Make no exception, comment, make a suggestion, ask a question, and don't be the least, don't be the last to speak. Try to be the icebreaker, the first one in with a comment, and never worry about looking foolish. You want. For each person who doesn't agree with you, odds are another person will. Quit asking yourself, I wonder if I dare speak. Instead, concentrate on getting the discussion leader's attention to you can speak. For special training and experience in speaking, consider joining your local Toastmasters Club. Thousands of conscious people have developed confidence through a planned program to feel at ease talking with people and to people. Smile big. Most folks have heard at one time or another that a smile will give them a real boost. They have been told that a smile is excellent medicine for confidence deficiency. But lots of people still don't really believe this because they have never tried smiling when they feel fear. Make this little test. Try to feel defeated and smile big at the same time. You can't. A big smile gives you confidence. A big smile beats fear, rolls away worry, defeats despondency. And a real smile does more than cure just your ill feeling. A real smile melts away opposition of others and instantly too another person simply can't be angry with you if you give him a big sincere smile. Just the other day a little incident happened to me that illustrates this. I was parked at an intersection waiting for the light to change when BAM, the driver behind me, let his foot slip the brake and put my rear bumper to a test. I looked back through my mirror and saw him getting out. I got out too and forgetting the rule book, started preparing myself for verbal combat. I confess I was ready verbally to bite him to pieces. But fortunately, before I got this chance, he walked up to me, smiled, and said in the most earnest voice, Friend, I really didn't mean to do that. That smile matched with his sincere comment melted me. I mumbled something about that's okay, happens all the time, almost in less time than it takes to wink an eye. My opposition turned into friendship. Smile big, and you feel like happy days are here again. But smile big, a half developed smile is not fully granted. Smile until your teeth show. Smile until your teeth show. That large size smile is fully granted. I have heard many times, yes, but when I fear something or when I am angry, I don't feel like smiling. Of course, you don't. No one does. The trick is to tell yourself forcefully, I am going to smile, then smile. Harshness, the power of smiling. Harness the power of smiling. Put these 5 procedures to work for you. One is action cures fear. Isolate your fear and then take constructive action. Inaction, doing nothing about a situation, strengthens fear and destroys confidence. 2 is make a supreme effort to put only positive thoughts in your memory bank. Don't let negative, self-deprecatory thoughts grow into mental monsters. Simply refuse to recall unpleasant events or situations. 3 is put people in proper perspective. Remember, people are more alike, much more alike than they are different. Get a balanced view of the other fellow. He is just another human being and develop an understanding attitude. Many people will bark, but it's a rare one that bites. 4 is practice doing what your conscience tells you is right. This prevents a poisonous guilt complex from developing. Doing what's right is very practical rule for success. 5 is make everything about you say, I am confident. Really confident. Practice these little techniques in your day to day activities. One is be a front seater. 2 is make eye contact. 3 is walk 25% faster. 4 is speak up, and 5 is smile big. So, dear brothers, friends, all of you are reading, listening, speaking in the different universities. You know the basic principles of the language, how we can recreate, regenerate, and reoperate our linguistic style for knowing the truth of language to literature, science to spirituality. As you know that our nation is known as the multicultural and multilingual nation. All the starters, beginners, initiators came on this earth to provide us the true knowledge to the worldly people at the international level. They broadcasted their message of humanity. Humanity is our caste, humanity is our religion. It is rightly said in the Holy Scripture, in the Holy Bible, our body is the temple of God, heart is the seat of God. Love is God, God is love. As per the thoughts of Swami Vivekananda, who advocated the worldly people, a man should keep on his path unrelentingly, unceasingly, unstoppingly. There should not be the selfish, less, but a man should be selfless, not be the selfish. Selfishness creates inferiority, narrowness is in our mind. And our nation, society, family, personally, publicly cannot grow. So for that, we are to be away from such negativities. And our soul, our spirit should be free from falsifications, sensual pleasure, avariciousness that we have around this sacred spirit, sacred soul. So, dear friends, we must remember the thoughts and ideas of our role model Swami Vivekananda, who spent his time with true or pure words like my brothers and sisters of the America. These words were the presentation not only externally, but it was the impression and expression of his internal character and culture. Our culture, our character, which is incomputable throughout the world, and every word that we speak that can change, that can bring revolutionary and visionary change in all the agriculture, industry, hospitals, health, education, post offices, railways, banking, in all the sectors of economy, it can be possible. So, dear friends, varieties, adversities, diversions, if you have around you, there is no question of frustration and depression. It is rightly said by our holy saints, great men of this nation, that our nation is having the great principle of unity in diversity at every level because it is the inborn feature of our motherland. On the earth, our Indian motherland is the unique, matchless, incomparable. Our youngsters should get up before rising the sun because we feel the existence of Lord in every part and particle of the universe. Dear friends, for the rejuvenation, reorganization, reoperation of our nation, it is very necessary today. We are to feel the presence of Lord in the daytime in the form of the sun. At the night time we can feel the presence of Lord in the form of the moon, the stars. But the true God or Lord who is inside in your human body, you can feel his presence by repeating the holy words while doing meditation. In your meditative mood, you will feel that you are very close to the true mission of your soul. As per the perception of our traditional, conventional features, we believe in yoga, pranayam, meditation, and in therapies we believe physiotherapy, Ayurveda, naturopathy. These are the landmark and milestone of our culture that are still permanent all over the world. In the presence of our present Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, our country is progressing in the different fields. We are taking initiatives. Numberless initiatives our India has been taken in the different fields. Every day we are improving our holy land by improving our character, by improving our habits, thoughts and ideas. One idea, one nation, one man can bring change, revolutionary and visionary. As per the thoughts of Swami Vivekananda, who advocated, appealed to the worldly people that few words, few thoughts can bring change, because history is the evidence of all these results and outcomes, consequences, what happened in the history. By the two persons it was possible to start the Second World War. If a man can go so negative at the height of negativity and can bring the cause of tyranny and dictatorship, so likely that if a man can go so deep in negative, a man can also go deep in positive. It's up to the human being. If he thinks better, nicer, finer for our country and nation, then we can become the true nationalistic and spiritualistic person of this nation, which is the great feature of our nation at the world level. We are known by spiritual values. So our present Prime Minister is enduring well, attempting well to bring oneness, unity and equality at every level. Dear friends, we should never forget that our country is the unique land in the world. Thanks listeners and learners. May God bless all of us. Thank you for watching on YouTube channel 3M Creator. धन्यवाद.